Batman has come out of retirement and is back on the streets fighting crime. His major breakthrough has been his success in stopping the mutant gang by taking down their leader. But the troubles are far from over. The remaining members of the mutant gang have fled the scene and joined various smaller gangs. They are wreaking havoc on the city. Added to this is the growing menace of the self-appointed vigilante group called Sons of Batman, which has resorted to fighting crimes on the streets instead of going to law enforcement. The debate about the legitimacy of Batman and his activities are now in full swing again. As primetime news flashes host panels on the issue, there is a keen viewer following all the developments from Arkham. Gotham's most notorious clown sits with his eyes glued to the television, a bemused smirk playing on his face. As the newsreel draws to a close, the Joker slowly puts on his signature grin. Something is about to happen. Dr. Walper approaches his star patient. The Joker is still watching the TV, but his expression is somewhat different. Walper comments on his great recovery. For a patient who spent a decade sitting on a chair like an inanimate object, the Joker had bounced back phenomenally in a matter of months. The Joker remarks about the doctor's appearance on the TV discussion. He murmurs almost to himself that it must be great to be able to present his side of this to the world. As expected, the doctor gets drawn into his act. The Joker covers his face with his hands as a show of remorse and laments that nobody wants to hear his story. This is Walper's moment. He is completely taken by his prized inmate's performance. He can get the Joker on a show. Of course, he would have to accompany him all day, but it could be done. After all, in his view, the Joker is nothing but a victim of Batman's narcissistic god complex. He will get the crime lord on a talk show. That is the least he can do. The news of the most feared villain's TV appearance makes waves, but so does the viability of Batman and his means of achieving results. With growing pressure from the media and several civil rights groups, the time has come for the president to intervene. And so, President Reagan summons the only man capable enough to negotiate with the vigilante, Superman. In a personal capacity, he is not against the idea of Batman. But if the rumors are true and he has lost control, then things are bound to get out of hand. He trusts Superman with the task of taming the rogue hero. Outside all these events, a different development is happening elsewhere. The tiny island nation of Croto Maltese off the coast of South America is witnessing a face-off between the two most powerful powers in the world, the United States and USSR. The warring powers are going at one another with full force, and a nuclear Armageddon seems to hang in the air like an impending doom. Back in the city, law enforcement is falling short. Robberies are a way of life. Two thugs storm into a store. They are here to loot the place. The two attackers look similar and very young. Wearing identical suits, they point guns at the store owner, but he won't flinch. He engages the robbers in a conversation. They are new to this, easily manipulated. The young thugs were a part of the mutant gang. Now they work for a woman called Bruno. The man keeps edging them on to reveal more information while he reaches for his gun taped under the desk. The tables turn suddenly. Looks like they won't be able to rob him today. But wait, Bruno is here. With her blonde hair cropped short and carrying an assault rifle, Bruno is a close associate of the Joker. The odds are again going against the store owner, and right when the struggle seems to be over, there is an old woman barging into the store. There are warts covering her face, and her clothes are threadbare. She is complaining about the price. Her sudden appearance makes them pause and look. And that is all that she needed. The woman attacks the robbers. She is jumping over desks, punching men in their faces. It is a sight to watch. And soon the two cronies are lying on the floor with Bruno on the run. Batman informs Robin about the direction of Bruno's flight before leaving the store, still disguised as an old lady. Robin is still undergoing training, but she is picking up fast. She successfully draws the armed goon into an abandoned building. From here on, it is Batman's job to fish out information. But he is interrupted. An old friend is here to visit him. Ellen Yindel is taking charge of Gotham as Gordon vacates his office as police commissioner. An establishment that was so far in cahoots with Batman is now turning against him. As Yindel takes up the mantle in a stately dinner, her first act is to issue a warrant against the vigilante her predecessor had befriended. They are standing on the grounds of Bruce's estate. Clark is here to mediate on behalf of the government. Batman needs to be checked, but Bruce has other plans. He is set on ridding Gotham of the crime that infests it, and he won't back down, even if it means locking horns with Superman in the long run. Clark gets the message. He does not argue further. He has a war to fight in Corto Maltese. It is a big day for Joker. He has been invited to David Endocrine's show. Walper is brimming with pride. He will finally show off his star patience to the world and prove that the real menace is Batman himself. He is a rogue narcissist with a penchant for violence. The Joker is nothing but a victim of his manipulations. He tells Joker to follow his lead. He still believes that this is his night. On the roof of the TV studio, the police department has assembled with all preparations in place. Batman is bound to make an appearance tonight. After all, his archenemy is out in the open again. And they are right. Flying undetected through the night sky, Batman has arrived. But the police presence might rain on his parade. He leaves Robin to man the aircraft and dives out. The aging superhero is met with scores of police personnel, bullets, and flashlights. But even tacklers half his age falter. Batman takes on the forces with ease. While a violent scuffle is happening on the roof, the Joker faces the TV cameras in the studio. The host and the live audience are thrilled to be watching the dreaded psychotic killer grace the seat of a talk show guest. Walper is bent on showing the world how good his patient actually is, and all that everyone went through was truly Batman's fault. But wait, the Joker is singing a different tune. He says that he is here to eliminate everyone in the room. A strange uneasiness grips the room, and Walper tries his best to dilute it. But things take a turn. In one swift motion, the Joker breaks the mug handed to him by the host, and stabs Walper. Before anyone knows what is going on, the two robotic kids fly into the room through the ventilation ducts. They are giving off fumes, presumably toxic. There is mass hysteria in the room. People attempt to escape, but it is of no use. The lethal gas is all pervasive. There is no way out. Out on the roof, the fight is still going on. Batman has not been able to breach the police guard. The odds are going against him. And then Robin appears with the aircraft hovering above them. He knows that it is his cue. Batman runs to it and climbs into the chopper. Before the police can get to them, they are off. The Joker is gone too. Batman knows better than to hurry. He knows that the Joker will leave a trail. All he has to do is wait, and soon enough he is rewarded. A congressman clearly under the influence of Joker's mind control walks onto a ledge of a skyscraper demanding a nuclear strike on the Soviet Union. He falls to his end, but gives Batman a crucial clue. A clue that leads him to Selina Kyle. She is beaten and tied. But there is something else. The floor of her apartment is littered with cotton candy. Robin knows what this means. He is headed to the fairground. Hundreds will be assembling there tonight. They have to hurry. What follows at the fair is a gut-wrenching fight between two archenemies. The Joker is hounded by Batman until his last breath. They finally come face to face in a tunnel. The partially blinded killer is still using his tactics, edging Batman on. A triggered Batman finally loses his control and crosses the line. He breaks the Joker's neck with witnesses watching. The decapitated villain cackles. He has finally managed to bring Batman over to the other side. All that is left for Batman to do is eliminate him. But Bruce knows better. Joker knows that the damage is done. Before anything can be salvaged, he eliminates himself. A seriously injured Batman makes his way through the fairground. He is bleeding and the police are in his pursuit. If he is caught now, he is a murderer. But there she is. Robin is here to rescue her boss. The police try their best, but it is of no use. They have already left. The scenes in Corto Maltese are not as hopeful. The Soviets are reeling under the attack from Superman, but they won't give up so easily. In a last-ditch effort to retaliate, they launch a nuclear missile directed at the island nation. It is now up to Superman to save the islanders stranded there, and the remaining troops, and he does so valiantly. But it is a nuclear missile. Somebody has to face the aftermath. Superman manages to diverge the nuke, but it does burst eventually, and Superman faces the entire brunt of it. As the Man of Steel falls through the blinding light of the bomb, he seems to shrivel up physically. The man that falls on the ground is a shadow of Superman. The after effects of the blast are experienced everywhere. There is a power outage, and all the batteries stop working. Bruce knows what this is about. He also knows that this is the perfect trigger to throw his already distraught city over the edge. He limps out of his sickbed with Robin and Alfred's help. He has to save his city. Gotham, meanwhile, has erupted in chaos. Looting and arson are widespread. People are running wild. The goons have struck gold. They have descended on the streets in hordes and are running free. Gordon watches the scenes of violence unfold right in front of his eyes as his city comes down in ashes. And right then, when all hope seems to be lost, Batman arrives. He is riding a horse, Robin right behind him. He brings the city together, assembling the breakaway vigilante groups that had formed under his name. He rounds up the menaces. The city is finally calm. High above the streets is Yindel. Her men have a clear shot at Batman, who until a few hours ago was public enemy number one. But Yindel does not give the orders they were expecting. She is seasoned. She knows that Batman has just saved the city. He is too big to take down. But the situation in the rest of the country is far from peaceful. Chaos has descended all across the United States, and law enforcement has no idea how to handle it. People are falling over themselves in a struggle to survive, and anarchy has become the law of the land. Gotham stands as the only beacon of hope. This doesn't go down well with the administration. A vigilante group has achieved what the state couldn't. It is time to rein in Batman, and the president sends his most competent soldier for the job. At home, Bruce is prepared for the onslaught. He is far from recovered, but his plan is cut out well before him. He has enlisted the support of Green Arrow, making his teammates go up to 3, Alfred, Robin, and Oliver. Bruce is prepared. He pops a pill and checks his watch. He has exactly an hour. The troops march into Gotham armed to their teeth. They have brought tanks. This will be a no-holds-barred mission. But where are the key players? The two superheroes face each other at Crime Alley. Both of them were weakened by their own fights. Superman takes a few hefty blows right in the beginning. But as time lapses, the fight gets serious. It seems that Bruce has come to fight till his last breath. He is taking all the punishment himself. Clark does not want to do this. He keeps urging his counterpart to give up, but Bruce is stubborn. Meanwhile, the timer is ticking. Alfred is working away on a computer. He is activating a self-destruct timer. The plan is coming to a head. Meanwhile, an aged Green Arrow now traverses the roofs of the city looking for a clean shot at Superman. And he finally gets it. In one swift motion, the arrow cuts across the sky. Clark turns right in time to catch it, but it bursts right in front of him, releasing a gas. Superman falls to the floor weakened. Batman towers over him. It is synthetic kryptonite. He drags up the most powerful man on Earth. He can eliminate him now if he wants to, but he doesn't. He wants Clark to remember this, remember who beat him. Clark lies on the ground helpless, awaiting his fate. But no, something is happening to Bruce. He lets out a strange cry and falls to the ground. It has been a week since the carnage. Gotham is still reeling from Bruce Wayne's passing and the revelation that he was the Batman. All his records, finances, and papers are gone with his house that burned down the very night he passed away. It seems Alfred was the one that got rid of the paper trail before passing away. At the funeral, the few people who knew the real Bruce gather to pay their respects. Gordon notices a buff-looking spectacled man standing with his head bowed. Gordon asks if he was a friend, but he does not really know, Clark admits. As the crowd thins out, Clark prepares to leave. But there is someone still at the grave. Clark turns to see a petite young girl standing with her face covered. He winks mischievously at Robin before walking off. Deep under their feet, the sons of Batman set up the new Batcave while Bruce oversees the work.